Hey there, Dango Stu here. Today's video is about pressure testing and installing the Vetus heat exchangers into Pete's Halvorsen and is proudly sponsored by MarineEngine.com. Still in Sydney Harbour at the moment, anchored just at Vaucluse at the moment, heading home in about an hour or so. I'll edit the footage up from this week soon, but in the meantime, let's go back in time and look at when we installed Pete's heat exchangers. Before we install Pete's repaired heat exchanger, we are going to pressure test it. To make the pressure tester, I bought these plugs, various sizes, from the plumbing section at Bunnings, and a bit of hose that they can go in and seal up. I'm going to drill and tap the end of one of them so that we can thread the outboard gearbox pressure tester into it and use that. Here's one in the vise, so let's get a bit of oil in here and then start drilling it. The thread on the outside is not important with this, we're just clamping a hose onto it, so happy to put it in a little bit of a vise. So let's run the tap through it. In this case, it's an 8mm, 1.5mm thread metric. We don't need to tap any more than the depth of the thread on the pressure gauge, but it is quite a bit, and I do want that O-ring to seal against what's left of the housing. Feels like we're all the way through. So, cut thread, which hopefully nicely matches our pressure tester. Some of the epoxy filled in underneath the cap while it was in, so I'm going to get the Dremel. I'm going to use this little sandpaper drum. I might see if I can set it so that the head here is below it, so we can clean this out without damaging the core itself. Give ourselves a nice surface for the O-ring to seal against. Yeah, just pulled it up a little bit higher so the screw itself won't gack the core. See how that goes. Alright, clean the old epoxy that was a bit stuck on here still, even despite the silicone spray. Now let's go get that seal kit. Back in the workshop with Pete.
G'day.
What is it now? Day after Boxing Day?
Yeah, whatever.
Something like that? Sunday. Alright, we're going to drill and tap the holes here for the exhaust to go on. I cleaned this up with the Dremel before. We'll blow it out, pressure test it, and then head out to Whitecrest and
give it a go.
Give it a go, exactly.
Alright. And just, I see.
Stack it on there to make sure, just so you can see too. So it's a 1.25. Yeah. Now, what we probably should do is run it in from the back, because there is some thread at the back, and I don't want to start a thread that starts
and then goes off,
and it's off to the other one. I've got to say,
too tight?
Well, no, it's the right one, but just even that bulge there is
in the way.
So maybe
we do have to go through from the front.
Yeah, which, to be honest with you,
so they're not under. I mean, they're tense. But they're not. No,
it's not massive tension. So we could drill and go up a size, go to a 10mm rather than an 8mm.
Got the bolts?
Probably. The other option is that by the time you look at it,
by the time it's getting halfway, it doesn't go through anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, it gets close. A little bit frustrating. So we could drill and we could possibly helicoil, which is just putting a replacement thread in.
Yeah.
So with these thread repair kits, you get a thread and it's all damaged. Yeah. So you drill the hole bigger, tap a deeper thread, then you put an insert that brings it back to the original size.
Oh, I see. So that's, oh, I see, that's what that little bit of metal is.
Yeah, so this lives in the head.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So you drill and tap that outer thread, put it in,
And now you've got a brand new...
and then you've got a brand new thread that is the same as the bolts you had originally, which is those M8 threads.
That's pretty clever.
So why don't we just do that? Oh, actually, maybe closer.
I think it's closer than you think.
It is, isn't it? So we want the centre to touch. We want the centre of the hole to really come to there.
It's the diameter. It clocks.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's better.
Yeah, it's kind of quite close,
quite
isn't
tight,
it?
yeah.
Okay, nice.
Cool.
Yeah, it's kind of nice. The kit comes with their own taps and drill bits and just basically everything that's right, which is always good. Now, the insertion tool, which was this one. Bit of oil on it so that the time cert comes off it again.
Not quite the right size?
Oh no, I think it is, but almost looks like it's damaged actually. Like the tip looks different to the other one.
Yeah, okay.
Just a bit of worry. But that's alright, it's a standard thread, so maybe we can use a thread repair on the thread repair tool.
Infinite loop.
Yeah, it looks like
it does look like it's
been broken, I think. Yeah. It's sort of annoying. Okay, so here.
Lost its end.
Chasers, so metric 8. Alright.
So that just tightens it up, does it?
It does, yeah. It's a little bit different to a die that would cut you a brand new thread. It's more about cleaning up an existing one. Do the pressure testing on the boat.
And that's just exhaust out, is it?
Yep.
So it's not, the inside, how we were worried about the sort of the flange, the seal that goes in.
Yeah, we've got a gasket to go on there. We'll put a bit of high temp RTV on it too, and
because that and the we've got a sensor, but that would be a monoxide leak point.
it could be, yes.
So
we'll put some.
Yeah, I don't think I'm not expecting it, but that's the.
Yeah, that would be the leak point for sure.
It would be gas, not water.
Yes. The tool will go in, and then eventually
Sort of
expands it,
out,
and locks it into the. Yeah. Yeah, you feel it start to get tighter. Yeah, see, it starts to tighten around that point.
And now you're expanding the
insert. Expanding the insert, and then just
old thread, new thread.
Yeah.
And are we going to use the original Vetus bolts then?
No, we'll put the new ones in.
I meant the Vetus provided ones.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
That's the point of the exercise.
Yeah, they'll go in nicely. Yeah.
There you go. Look at that.
It's the exact thread for those. Yeah. So we use the Vetus original bolts. Okay, here there's a little roll pin that goes in this end to make sure it's clocked in the right orientation. So we'll drill the broken old one out and put a new one in. Alright, just get this roll pin in. So these are our time certs in there, so we've got a new thread in there now. Washer on it still.
It's pretty exciting when you get to the gasket stage.
Yes,
it's exactly. Like home straight.
Home stretch for sure.
Look how shiny it is too, it's bound to work.
Yeah, exactly. Shiny always works. And then we'll just put a little bead of RTV, or actually, you know what, I might
seal it in place.
Yeah, I might put some of the RTV. So we've got the O-ring at the bottom. I might put the RTV around the flange before we push it in.
How will that affect the O-ring? Is that just sort of sticky stuff?
It's after the O-ring. So really what you're doing is just saying, look, the O-ring can do its job,
but the RTV can help.
It can help afterwards, yeah.
Second line of defence.
Exactly, yeah. O-ring sits around there.
Yeah.
And just get it up above there. If this bottoms out, we might just have to cut it a bit shorter. That should be good because it's squeezing a bit of RTV out. It's always a good sign.
That's good.
Yep. So, other side. So, O-ring in. We just smooth this a little bit around. Look at that. I mean, compared to last time,
It's going to purr
yeah,
and hopefully not leak.
yeah, certainly looks a lot better than it did with big bits missing.
Yeah. So the tester shows you the PSI.
All you do is you're putting some pressure in it, and then so you just put a little bit of air in one end.
You don't need to wait for the RTV to set or anything?
Well, we'll do it on the boat.
Yeah, okay.
So
it'll set a bit, yeah.
So just need a little length of pipe. Hopefully these are big enough to cut it. Yes. So with this, we're testing whether it leaks around the heat exchanger or leaks from in the heat exchanger into the saltwater side.
Have you got some little clamps or anything on Renko just in case? Because I'm just thinking now, like the coolant, the clamp to
these
put the
ones
coolant back on. Well, even small ones. I'm just, you know.
Yeah, well, I do a few, but we can use these ones because these are the right size.
Yeah, yeah. So these homemade, these things? You made them?
No, I bought those.
Okay.
They are just from Bunnings, plumbing.
Right.
They're plumbing end caps.
Okay, and then you drilled the hole.
Just drilled the hole and tapped the hole.
So it's an end cap just to stop, yeah, okay.
And I drilled this hole is the same diameter and thread as an outboard gearbox. Yeah. So I can just use my outboard gearbox pressure tester on these. So.
And that gives a PSI reading.
Well, what you do is you put pressure in it. Okay. So you put pressure in it.
You just see and
if it holds the pressure, you're good, and if it doesn't, you're not good. All right, we're ready to go. So just going to use the regular little gearbox tester I use, which is the cable or the hose off a oil filler just attached to a vacuum pump.
So you're not going to pump it up crazy high?
No.
Because that will make the leak.
You could do, absolutely, yeah. No, just sort of 10 PSI.
Because it wouldn't be more than that anyway, would it? What's creating the pump? The oil pump? No, the coolant pump, the water pump.
Yeah, well, you've got two pressures,
Does the coolant have a pump?
Yeah, there's a coolant pump. So the coolant circulates as well as the salt water
pump. But doesn't it not just heat circulation then?
No, it's pump driven. Yeah, it's definitely forced around, yep. So the coolant gets circulated by one pump, usually a centrifugal pump, and the raw water gets circulated by an impeller.
Should know where they are, shouldn't I?
Yeah. It's all right. This might take a bit of pumping because it's quite a volume. Dropping a little bit. But the other thing we can do, I'll just tighten all this stuff up. You can also put it in water and see if you can see any bubbles of where it does leak. It's not bubbling through the sealant at all. So I don't think we've got an issue around here.
Yeah, so the leak through the pipes at the end is not so much of a problem.
No, I think that's solvable. What would really be a problem is the core itself having a leak, yeah.
Yeah, that's terminal, really.
It's not great, yeah.
Because what you got coolant. You could also see that, couldn't you?
Yeah, well then you get salt water into your coolant.
And vice versa.
Yeah.
But so just... In actual fact, what would happen? The coolant would be replaced by salt water over time.
I think you'd find... Well, actually, no, what probably happened is your coolant gets hot and it would go into the salt water. Then when you stop the boat, the coolant would cool and draw a vacuum and suck salt water in, so it would probably do a bit of an oscillation. Wouldn't be good, yeah.
No.
The boat would drive, don't get me wrong, but yeah, when you start getting contaminated coolant, then you've got salt water going through the engine itself, and
yeah, so corrosion spreads.
Yeah, exactly.
All of the problems.
Yeah. Alright. Let's see if that's any better. Still dropping.
About the same.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to have changed a huge amount. Yeah, definitely. It definitely drops. I think we should do it.
Yeah, bucket.
Tub of water. Well, although I'd like to let the RTV dry before we do that. Oops. Yeah, right.
Bit loose?
Yeah, maybe. Or is that just...
Is that just turning?
Turning the thread now, maybe. Could be. Yeah, that just feels like it's spinning last, I think, so we might have to...
Ooh, maybe that wasn't sealed so much at all.
Yeah.
That came off much easier than I thought.
Me too. Although there's a fair bit of thread poking through, but it did come off much easier than I thought too. So let's take this off. Now in the kit of bits, which I think is over there, because you need quite a long bolt here. It's interesting. Oops. That is quite long still, isn't it? But when it went in, there's only about that much poking through, and that's presuming it's not sitting up on the O-ring a bit.
Let's see.
See, if that's only getting in like that, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
So it's almost like we need a bolt.
A longer one.
Longer again.
How's it, if you keep going in, is it just threaded?
It's threaded quite a way, because I remember putting the thread chase through it. So it's got a lot of thread. We can have a long bolt. Absolutely.
Just felt like it wasn't biting though at all.
Well, yeah, the first couple of threads probably aren't that good. So we've got to get past those first couple of threads into the better thread. Now, there's a few things we can possibly do. Let me have a look. I might have some bolts.
How many washers have we got?
That's it. Well, what you can do...
Is it going to be in the way? No, it's got that. You could have washers central.
Yeah, so it can sit up there, all right.
Yeah.
What we could possibly even do is just put like
some bolts on, yeah.
A nuts there.
Nuts rather, yeah. That's probably the way to go, I reckon. You got another nut?
Yeah. Well, but we want to use a lot of thread, so let's see.
Is that the end of the thread?
No. Just got to get the socket now. Just back in this thing. Hold that again.
I got it. Things we do for boats, Stu.
Oh, I know. Tell me about it.
Things you do for other people's boats.
The craziness of boats.
Crazy. Still not crazy heavy, is it? Or is it?
It's getting there.
Okay, good.
Yeah, it's feeling
just
pretty good now. Just didn't want to strip it, so just being gentle.
Yeah, no, good, cool. Same.
A bit better, it's not great still. Can't really get much pressure in it. It's like we're fighting a
big leak.
Losing battle. So corroded, I can't imagine that.
I'm not feeling it's the core right now. I'm feeling it's, you know...
leaking somewhere else.
Yeah, I am.
I mean, that's not a great...
Exactly, I'm feeling it's...
This is what water will tell us.
Yeah.
Let's just stick it in a bucket of water.
Yeah.
And see what happens.
See where the bubbles go.
Yeah. We've taken our contraption to the public wharf so we can...
do science.
Yes, exactly. Do a science experiment. Get some water in it, see where our leak's coming from. So maybe lay it... well, we want to fill...
We can fill it up to there.
Yeah, well, fill the whole thing. Fill the fresh water, the raw water side. Well, actually, the raw water side should be sealed. But I think if we seal it all, we'll see where bubbles come from. We'll just fill it right up. Get a bit wet here. Air bubbles out of it. So it could be leaking before it even gets into the core. See where? Around there. The centre bolt. Well, that's alright. So it's around the centre bolt.
Yep.
So we just have to seal the centre bolt. So it's coming out into the cap and out the centre bolt.
Yep.
So that can definitely be fixed, and then we'll just do the test again. See, the water just made it so obvious where it's coming from, didn't it?
Yeah, we knew it was coming out somewhere. We would never. I mean, just guessing.
Yeah. It's been raining heaps and had water in the fuel again. Kevin from the island said that he found these particular fuel tanks are a bit notorious for getting water in them because of the way the lid's done. So all I really need is a screwdriver. This is a reversible flathead one to drain the bowl and essentially get it started again. A bit of metho's good because it's both water and oil soluble, so it sort of helps get rid of the water. The screwdriver's just going to, you know, rust in the boat. So I've decided my permanent kit for water problems now is going to be a bottle of metho with a screwdriver in it. Oop. Leave it in. That could be my repair kit for water problems now. All right, let's go pick Pete up, put this new bolt in with an O-ring and pressure test this heat exchanger again. All right, we're back. Now, we have, what do we have? I have a longer hex bolt. Oh, that was supposed to go on Renko, never mind. Which may or may not be long enough. This one, so we need one of these round hex bolts. This one's, I've put an O-ring on it because the copper washers are too big on the outside, but we can't grind one down. Longer again, but only in zinc, so it will be temporary.
My mind's on the zinc, just as a guess.
Yeah, it definitely gives us a few more mil. And it's temporary, but it'll give us...
How soft is zinc?
Oh no, it's just the corrosion protection. The bolts, actually the bolt's probably stronger than stainless. Stainless is quite brittle. It doesn't have a lot of tensile strength. So this may actually be a stronger bolt, but more prone to corrosion. I think the first few threads aren't awesome in here, so it has to go in quite a way in order to get some real grip. Let's put a little bit of thread sealant on the thread part too. Actually, we can put it all the way up. It's not going to hurt. And then if the O-ring seals against the tip, the head of it, just under the head of it,
yeah,
which I think is where they had a copper washer. And this is not going to get that hot. Not hot enough to melt an O-ring, you know what I mean? So we just put...
something very wrong at that point.
I think so too.
The coolant will...
The coolant won't get above 100 degrees, yeah.
You're
we'll know soon enough.
You're dressed up today, Stu.
I've got, yeah, well actually Vic and I are going to lunch at 12:30 at Brooklyn, so I've got to get this happening and hit the road, unfortunately.
No, don't be silly. If it works, do you fancy an upriver run later, just to drive around?
Actually, the sun comes out partially tomorrow afternoon. It's only partly, by 2 o'clock it's only partly cloudy, so we could do an afternoon booze cruise.
Yeah,
all right.
There you go, okay.
Well, actually...
let's see, let's wait and see.
Well, that tightened up then too.
That felt good.
And it's got the O-ring.
Yes, that's not gonna, certainly not gonna...
And it's the stainless one.
How long does thread sealant one out of water?
No, it's fine, it shouldn't take long at all. It's mostly... What I might do is, because this got quite thin, I might just do one last little bead around the housing as well.
Yeah. And
yes, the top couple of threads are gone.
And therefore there's a hole around the bulkhead, essentially.
Yes. Well, also then we used a longer bolt, which had no way of sealing against the housing.
Oh, yeah.
So the O-ring under that, because it was a hex bolt, it went on top.
Yeah.
So this one now is an Allen key bolt. I think it is the original stainless one. It went tight, and it's got an O-ring under the head of it.
Yeah, that's looking better.
And thread sealant. So let's just, this is sort of a little bit skimpy, so let's just do a larger bead while it's dry and clean. And then we'll give it a whirl. You know, we didn't need to come here. It's holding pressure. We don't need to see where the bubbles are coming from. It's not moving at all now. So we could stick it in just to prove it, but...
Nah, well...
We were thinking to ourselves we should have pressure tested it on the boat. We didn't even need to come and get a bucket because the bucket really only tells you where it's leaking from, but...
It's not leaking.
With the new bolt, it is not leaking at all.
That is gold.
We could pop it in just to prove it to ourselves that, yeah, that needle's not dropping at all. So if that doesn't leak air, it's not going to leak water. You can see here, it's holding pressure perfectly.
Oh, that's good news.
It is. Perfect. This is good to go.
Yep.
All right, let's do it. Tip the water out. Okay, from badly corroded to passing a pressure test. So the only unknown now really is longevity. You know, that's our final criteria. We know it's sealed. We know it'll work. The final question is, how long will it work for?
Yeah, we expect probably better performance, right? The rods are a lot
yeah, much cleaner. It was blocked before.
So it's completely blocked. So there's performance and then longevity.
Yep.
Let's get her in.
So we can show that if we make this video a couple of years long, by the end of it, the answer will be there. Yeah, I'm going to start saving all these little hoses just for pressure testing all sorts of things. I think by the time you've got a collection of different sizes.
Yeah, I think that's well worth a draw, right?
Yeah, totally. That's it. Yeah, exactly. Just build them up over time. This is just a little bit of high temp RTV, mostly actually just to hold the gasket on while we... And once again, because this particular manifold is full of water, You know, it's not as hot as a car one, for example.
Yeah.
Car ones are just dry. They actually rely on the fact that you...
But that's exhaust what you're doing now?
Yes.
So is it full of water or is it?
Well, all this is.
Oh, I see the whole thing.
Yeah, so the outside of
the temperature is regulated by the fact that it's
so theoretically it shouldn't get anywhere near as hot as this RTV can handle.
Yeah.
But in a car they rely on the air going under the car, which you don't have.
Gets very hot.
Yeah. So boats. It's actually a part of video we're thinking of doing soon, which is taking a truck engine and putting it in a boat, because trucks have air cooling.
Yeah.
Totally different load.
Well, a lot of these are. I think this is a tractor engine that's been maritime.
Apparently it's a Mitsubishi engine. I don't know if it's truck or whatever, but yeah, apparently it's a Mitsubishi block, so Mitsubishi diesel, probably a truck, little truck. Yeah.
Oh, so Vetus is it a brand then, or do they actually?
Vetus do marine stuff, like they make all sorts of boating stuff.
Right.
But the actual engine block is Mitsubishi, apparently.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does that include the exchanger?
No, that'll be a Vetus thing.
Yeah.
Because Mitsubishi trucks won't have heat exchangers.
Yeah.
They'll have a radiator. So Vetus takes their block and makes a marine engine out of it. But a lot of it is, well, heaps of it's about cooling, and some of it's also about the fact that boats just drive at 1 RPM range the whole time. All right, did you say you found the bolts for this?
Yep.
Cool. And what size head do they have on them?
About that.
So they didn't have anything on them last time.
No, they're just that.
They're pretty dry. Not that they'll leak or anything, but just to make them come out again. It's interesting. Anyway, let's have a look.
So the bolts go in this way, don't they? Yeah.
From the opposite sides of the gasket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they do go in. They don't go from the block, or.
No, that's it. They screw into the block. Yeah. So if you just put a bolt in each end of it, say.
Yep. Okay.
And is it going to fit down through this? Oh, actually, it can come if you bring it over.
It's going to fit into place.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Actually, if you can help me take the weight of it. Hang on. All right. And then I'll get the bolts started.
Okay. That's the bulk of the fresh water gone.
Yeah, right, cool. Alright, now we need to come over a little bit.
Yeah, if you take the weight, you want to get in position.
Trouble is I can't actually see the right position.
Oh, I see.
Where are the holes? There. Alright, hang on. I think I'm going to have to look from the side or something. Just got no reference points to line it up with. Alright, let's get all the bolts started and then we'll tighten them up. Cheers. Get these torqued up and then we'll start putting our hoses on. Is that rag there? I might just put the rag in this before I clean it so we don't get too much gunk in your cooling system.
Gunk in my junk?
Because this is the freshwater side. We somehow managed to not order the thermostat gasket, so we're going to put a bit of sealant on this one and order 2 more. We can change it once it's full, it's no big deal. Very easy to get to, and we don't need to drain it.
Doesn't even have a thermostat in at the moment.
Yes, we're putting one in for the first time, aren't we?
Well, we're putting it back in for the first time.
Yeah, so it was running without, wasn't it?
Running without. The starter engine is running without.
Yeah.
I don't think under temperature is going to be.
Oh, sorry, this one's running without. Yes, gotcha. Okay, yep. All right. What should we use? I think we should use some of that red RTV again.
Yep.
Are you happy for this rag to become?
Yeah. That was my grandmother's rag as a baby. It's very
very precious to you. Still got her saliva on it. If ever we clone her from her DNA, we're going to use that rag, but now you've ruined it.
Grandma's come out as a red gasket baby.
Well, be handy.
Yeah. This is a job for red gasket baby.
Yet another superhero the world needs.
I think Marvel are looking into it.
Yeah.
Well, one of the overheating times when I was curious I thought it might be the sensor.
Yep.
Anyway, we did have the coolant. You'll see the splashes. Coolant boiled over.
Yeah, right.
Which is this radiator cap doing its job.
Yeah, exactly. It's designed to release. Yep.
That was fun. We're in the middle of a laser sailing regatta.
Oh, really?
Steam coming out the floor, engines off.
Nice. And that was both engines or one?
We turned both off.
Right.
Because they would have been overheated. They were the same,
Same problem.
But it was the one you're working on now that was more overheated.
More of a problem. There's that.
You got the hose on. You got it on already.
Well, it was all. Yeah, this wasn't
there,
off here yet. So we'll definitely order both the gaskets then, but this should get us out of trouble for a test run. All right. I don't think that's going to leak. We'll definitely get a new one, but I don't think it's going to leak. Won't be catastrophic.
No.
Well, famous last words. Water's a funny thing. Particularly under pressure. You think, oh, it'll be fine.
Next thing. Catastrophic over 3 months. Yeah.
Yeah.
When it fails, it'll be like it'll corrode the bolts. They'll shear off.
They would have actually been nicer on the other side. Too late. When we change the gasket, let's move those to the other side so they face this way.
Every job you do gives you 5 more to do.
Yeah. Pete's saying the little outboard on his tender's not running that well, and that maybe we should fix it as a live stream. So thinking about doing that soon too.
Give it a go.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Some new hose clamps now. So let's pop the hoses on, then we can get some water in. Got to put a bit of RTV both sides of this exhaust gasket because it's not a machined surface anymore. I mean, we sanded it pretty flat, don't get me wrong, but just don't want exhaust leaks.
We got the sensor running too, but that's probably one of the most dangerous possible leaks, isn't it?
Exactly, yeah.
Fill the boat with carbon monoxide and
so the sensor's kind of a great backup, but we don't want it going off.
No. It's actually like I don't know what you do if it does go off. You just
I'd ventilate.
Well, you have to leave the boat obviously.
Shut down and ventilate.
Shut down and
ventilate everything.
It's got those air funnels up front aren't too bad actually, but
yeah.
Presumably you just ventilate it and then turn the sensor on again.
Yes, and then find your leak.
Yes. I'll just drive with the windows open.
Well, you can drive from the roof.
Yeah, exactly.
Put your stick on.
Put the stick on, sit on the roof.
Yeah, you'll be fine.
We'll get home safely. Just need to do a bunk conversion. Put some bunks on the roof, swag.
Yes. All right. Now, this pipe here used to have a bit of hose inside here, but we're going to use some of the super special waterproof T-Rex tape to build this up. Might take this fitting off, Pete. It's got quite a bit of coolant showing out here. Just clean it up with some wire brush and redo it.
Sounds good.
Yeah, we may as well. We're here.
Got tons of coolant. Pre-mix.
Cool.
So.
Oh, well, that's cool. We may not even need a hose then. So it's not a concentrate. It's a pre-mix.
Yeah.
Excellent.
I can't figure out mixtures.
No, don't blame me. It's like mixtapes. Thing of the past. Yeah. Yeah, a little bit of dry, crusty coolant, but that's all right. Just give it a clean up.
So the house bank is showing 11.6 across it now. You know what I mean? It's not right.
It's not good, no.
Not right at all.
Anyway.
Another day.
Solar.
Nuclear powered boats.
Okay.
Should I refuel the Jenny?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, I think power's going to be our biggest issue now.
Yep.
This is interesting.
It's gone down?
No, it's got keep coolant level, so it's a coolant container, but it's got a windscreen washer cap for it.
Alright, aim is true. $3 litres, do you reckon? More? It's drinking it in, eh?
Yeah, well, how many? What's this? 6? I think there's every chance it'll take all
take
of
the
it.
lot?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, cool, okay.
Just see if this level changes at all.
Yeah. That's it, right? Just the one.
Yeah, just take that one right out.
No movement that I noticed.
No, me neither.
So what we might do though is fire it up with that open.
So what would we expect to see?
Well, what we really want to see is the level in the header tank drop. That's what I'd like to see, the air come out of it and then be able to get more coolant in. And then we can try the bottle trick, fill the bottle with coolant and give a bit of a head of coolant for it to draw in.
Yep.
Oh yeah, that'll actually probably work well. It sort of almost threads in.
Custom designed bottle.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Gotta be lucky sometime.
Anyway, all right, fire it.
That's alright, so a bit of water came out of there then. A bit of air came out until that went.
That was a bit there.
It was, yeah.
Just stop it.
Let it go and then I'll put the... That's alright, a bit will go out, but it's only water, so...
Seal it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Kind of leaking and filling. Do you need me to come forward, or is it?
No, it's completely slack tied, it's not going anywhere. Easy. Oh, actually, no. No, I think it's just wedged in this little fair lead. Oh.
Oh, it's too.
It's the trouble with these boats, they give you...
Is it too thick for the?
Yeah,
rider?
just for the fair lead, yeah.
Bloody hell.
But they... it's a classic thing with boats. I find that with Renko too, like, it's a big boat, needs reasonably thick lines, but it's got tiny cleats and... So you happy, you ready?
Yeah.
80 degrees on the inside of the thermostat. So it looks like the thermostat's open now.
About 2,200 RPM.
Yeah, right.
It does feel like this is the all-day cruising speed.
Ah, that's your starboard engine. That was port engine last time.
Yeah.
Oh, hang on. Just... Yeah. Alright. We need to fix this one too.
Yeah. One down, one to go.
But last time this was performing better than the other one.
That's all you get.
Yeah, right. So starboard engine overheating, but the one we fixed is working.
Well, thanks for watching. It was nice to get this heat exchanger back in and see it working well. It was a pretty cheap fix in the end. Essentially $100 worth of DevCon epoxy, a bit of paint, some gaskets, that kind of thing. We need to do the starboard motor as well, and when we do that one, I might experiment with a technique where you take the whole corroded end and essentially cut it straight off, machine it flat, and then find another block of aluminium, say about 1 inch thick, get it machined to match all the various ports and things that were on it, and then simply bevel it and weld it back on. I think that's a really good way to go. Obviously it takes more skills and more money. You're machining the metal, you're welding aluminium, so it's nice to compare something that perhaps is a lot more DIY with something that's perhaps a slightly higher standard of repair, but it'll be interesting to compare. All right, well, take care and I'll catch you then. See ya.
Oh, Daisy, you're still so broody. What you doing in there? Come on. Time to get up. Come on. Oh. Can't spend your whole life sitting on eggs that aren't fertilised. Is that your grumpy face? Come on, let's get you some food.